Whoa, this is the Yewllusion reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Monday night. Hope we all had a magical mental Monday here on Spaceship Earth. It's interesting the seismic shift that is occurring in the world of social media, which is the way we communicate, right? This is how we communicate. And we're doing it in a global way. And I've been checking out a lot of interesting stuff lately because this thing that went on in New Zealand was the flashpoint of what I see as ultimately the shutdown of free speech via the World Wide Web. And, you look at what's going on with Article 13 in the EU, which I was oblivious of till today, about copyright. You look at the overwhelming call for the shutdown of live streaming in the name of white nationalism or something. I don't really dig too deep into it and let it into me. Like, I just glance at it and I get what it is. I get how the mechanics are working. And so as I think about that, I want to pass on my tool, the tool that keeps me safe as a human being negotiating this new world we live in. We live in a world that our parents didn't live in. I'm 49 years old. We live in a world that I've watched change in my lifetime. We live in a world, I experienced a world my son will never know. I experienced a world that someone born after the millennia will never know. And we communicated differently. But here we are, we communicate through these platforms. And the tool that I've had, and I think my one saving grace in my reality, is my own independence as a thinker, as a human being. And that independence and that free thought came at the hands of a not belonging childhood. I didn't really fit in junior high or high school until I found drugs and alcohol, and then you fit in by default. So I didn't really fit in with the rest of the world now. Now I fit in with other people drinking and drugging and of like minds. But as I maneuvered through all these experiences in my life, I never lost my sense of self, if you will. That was always a valuable thing that I was taught by my parents, was the sense of self. And so here we are, we live in a new time. And I noticed that, and I understand what it is people are desperate for somebody to stand up in the midst of the chaos and go, let's go over there to solve the problem. Let's go over there and solve the problem. It's those people, it's this institution, it's that institution. And the fortunate gift I've had in my life is the journey through sobriety, because I had to take full responsibility for myself as a human being. I couldn't blame it on my childhood. I couldn't blame it on my parents. I couldn't blame it on the alcohol manufacturers. I couldn't blame it on drug dealers, ex-girlfriends, lame bosses. I had to take responsibility for my life. And because I was willing to take responsibility for my life, that allowed me to open the door to God. And that's my personal experience. But because I have that experience of taking responsibility for myself as a human being, I don't look for leadership in the world. I don't look for anyone to lead me. I lead myself. So I can't be conned. I can't be convinced to join any sort of movement or any sort of group think. I'll go in, I'll go participate, I'll listen, I'll check it out, I'll laugh, I'll find similar ideas. But in the whole process of it all, I never lose track of who I am because I've taken responsibility for myself. And so what I think I'm putting out there is a warning sign. I think we have a unique demographic that listens to my channel, and it's a group of human beings that are asking questions, a group of human beings that are just curious about life, a group of human beings that are disenfranchised, a group of human beings that don't fit in with the status quo, a group of people that believe in independence and freedom, and for that matter, maybe the Constitution, and a huge group of people that believe in God, that believe in Jesus Christ. But within that, we are bound because I choose to flip on the camera and speak. So by default, I've become a focal point of our relationship. And I guess what I would say to you is if I'm a leader or a focal point is, all I ask of you is to take responsibility for yourself, is to be the leader of your own reality. Do not give yourself to anybody except God. Trust yourself. Learn who you are as a human being. And once you know who you are as a human being, and you've developed your trusting relationship with yourself, nobody can convince you to do anything. Everything after that becomes free will. And when it becomes free will, it becomes a choice about whether you're going to participate in the infinite love of God or you're going to participate in the limited reality of fear. And so that's our free will choice. Shiny trinkets to alleviate fear or everlasting abundance of God's love. I don't know. The choices become simple for me, but I don't look for anyone to lead me anymore. I was thinking about this today because as I'm watching the seismic shift of the alternative reality, if you will, and they're all shills, there's a giant psyop going on within social media. And I won't call any of them by name because I don't want to give them any of that power, because you shouldn't care, because you shouldn't be that invested in any one human being more than yourself. And it really is how we're going to survive moving forward is decentralized leadership. Look, it's guerrilla spiritual warfare. You have to be the leader of your own reality. You can't be looking for anyone, or you're going to end up in Jonestown, or you're going to end up with Marshall Applewhite, or you're going to end up in some Rajneesh compound in Oregon, or you're going to end up in some battlefield somewhere, or you're going to end up in some prison cell somewhere else. Because see, the thing that I know is once you've taken responsibility for yourself and you realize the truth of yourself, you would never need to inflict violence on another human being. You would never need to inflict negativity, because you've already come to the understanding that as you, as the person who's taken responsibility for yourself, the buck stops with you. There is nobody else out there to blame. It's all what you choose to do with yourself. And with that said, you don't need a leader. Yes, what I've provided is a way for us to explore these ideas. But at the end of the day, the most important thing I can share with you is your need to be an independent, free-thinking human being and to take responsibility for yourself. When you take responsibility for yourself, the police don't have any power over you. The government doesn't have any power over you. The evildoers don't have any power over you. Nobody has any power over you. Because you've made a voluntary contract with the ultimate giver of power, which is God. And ultimately, you have to find your own way there. I can't tell you how to get there, but I can tell you the most important step in that process is taking responsibility for yourself and not looking to anyone else to lead you, is to realize the truth that you are consciousness. You are God's perfect human being. You may not fit in with your people. You may look funny. You may dress funny. You may be drunk right now or on drugs right now. You may be broken, battered, and bruised right now. But the minute you take responsibility for who you want to be in this moment of time and space, you've altered reality because you've decided to choose who you are the leader of, and that's yourself. See, that's what this thing's about. That's why I think that those of us who are disenfranchised, those of us who are lonely, those of us who have gone down the paths of self-destruction, those of us who have taken daring chances, those of us who have failed and gotten back up and failed again and gotten back up and failed again and gotten back up, we're the ones who are free because we understand that the buck stops with us, that we are the leader of our own reality. And that's why I always talk about be the president of your own self. Don't look to leaders in funny buildings and faraway lands to guide you. Ask yourself right here, right now, what kind of human being you are. Not what kind of human being you need to be in the expectation of some other human being. The person in the mirror. Ask yourself who the person in the mirror is that's looking back to you. And once you've made that contact, you have that choice to make between fear and shiny trinkets or everlasting love of God and abundance, infinite abundance. And once you have infinite abundance and you have an everlasting love for God, you will never be afraid again. And I was going to get to this thing. I ran into a couple scenarios today where I bumped into shadows of my former life that made me feel uncomfortable. And I had to stand there and I had to face them in the moment of time and space. There was nowhere for me to run to. There was no one for me to call for advice. There was only me. And I trust myself. I've been talking a lot about this lately on this channel, as I've realized that I trust myself. And why I trust myself is I've made peace with the person staring me in the mirror. I've made peace with myself. I know who I am. I know I'm a good human being. There is nobody who can sway my opinion from myself and my contact with God. See, it's not about me anymore. I'm merely an instrument in God's control panel. My job and my assignment from God is to make this video. I don't even know what really inspired me to make this video, except I'm watching the golden calves being slayed. And the funny part is, a lot of the golden calves are golden calf slayers. All of those people that have been leading the charge right now have laid down their weapons on the battlefield, and they've surrendered, from what I can tell. And so it's left to you, it's left to me to decide who we are as human beings. I am never going to surrender, because I don't have to surrender, because I'm not afraid of it anymore. Whatever the thing is, ignore it. 2019. I'm moving past it with love and abundance. Yeah, life's a struggle, but I'm the leader of my own reality. And because I'm the leader of my own reality, I get to wake up in the morning and make a decision every morning. Do I give it to God? Or do I let self-will run riot and live in fear and trinkets and shiny stuff? There's no certainty in this journey. But I don't look to anyone else to tell me what to do or lead me. I'm not walking off the cliff with anybody else but myself. So, we're here together. Those of you who watch this channel and stuff, all I'm trying to help you do is become the leader of your own reality. That's it. Don't follow me, because I wouldn't expect you to. Walk beside me. Walk shoulder to shoulder with me. Let's all lead together. Let's walk into whatever storm's approaching us right now, with our heads held up high, with the love of God fueling our tanks, and let's be fearless. Because I'm telling you, from what I can tell, seismic landscape shift is about to occur. And I don't really know what it is. I'm not clairvoyant, but I'm picking up the signals. And there's no reason to be afraid. There really isn't. You just got to trust love. That's it. Don't go to fear. I'm telling you, you can make that decision, and you're more than welcome to make it, but you don't need to make it. Anyway, this is the Yewllusion. Thinking about things on a Monday night, trying to share my observations. And feel free to support this channel if you like what we're doing here. And the links are down below. We do live streams in the morning, and we'll drink some coffee together, and we'll get Tuesday off to a good start. But for right now, realize you have to be the leader of your own reality. It's the most important thing you can do for yourself right now, is empower yourself. Do not let anyone else be the leader of your reality. All right, this is the Yewllusion signing off.